All right, what's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. When brothers pump the brakes on protecting, providing, and defending our women. Just made the video, it's a little bit too long. So initially, we gung-ho about all of those things. As we get older, we have to use discernment, because at some point, people use us and manipulate us for their own gain. Whether it's using us to put the goon hand down on somebody, using us to fix a problem, or provide financial assistance, or come to your defense of something that you said was wrong. Because in the past, we used discernment because a lot of brothers are dead, a lot of brothers in jail, a lot of brothers are forgotten by the people that they wound up dead or in jail defending or protecting. And you can tell by the way that they act with or have disappeared with their family and friends that it just doesn't matter, that didn't inspire them to do anything. So we have to be good decision makers, because defense and protection comes with the possibility of putting our lives or freedom on the line. So you want to make sure you're doing it for the right person. Another thing is, in that comes the lack of appreciation and the lack of knowing how to reciprocate that type of action. Everything ain't about sex, so please don't just hit me up with the, what should I do? Fuck them, whatever. But don't act like, sometimes courtesy is a dying thing in the current state of America, and sometimes people forget the common courtesy of saying thank you, or going as far as doing an action that says thank you. So until people get accustomed to saying thank you with their actions, it's going to be a problem. When it comes to black men defending as a whole, as a collective unit, black women as a collective unit, that's a good theory, but it's not practical, because there are different demographics and types of men and women. So if you're with a particular type, you have to know their, their breakdown, their file, trying to get analysis, how to analyze that particular type. Because if you're dating a biker dude, you can know the biker lifestyle, biker culture, what bikers do. So you can't date a biker and then ask a military man to defend you, unless he's a military guy that happens to be a biker. You can't ask you can't be with a nerd and then want the thugs to defend you, because it's the nerd's job to defend you. That's who you're with. So you gotta first call on the type of man that you gravitate to or are in a relationship with, or to be your first line of defense. For women who dating outside their race, you can't, if you dating a white guy and something goes south and he doesn't defend you, you can't blame black men for that. You gotta, because he's your first line of defense. The man you choose is the first man to protect you, to provide for you, and to defend you. That's your first choice. Now, if he doesn't defend you, you get on his ass. Then you get on the group. You don't go and say, oh, these brothers ain't shit because they don't defend us. Well, what about the guy that you chose, or that you chose to be with, rather? Another thing, and I've said this in an older video, A lot of times y'all want us to protect y'all, but the one person that we can't protect you from is yourselves. And because of sometimes it's independent, dismissive, disrespectful, modern woman type of culture, y'all don't realize you already signed a contract to be unprotected. You know, when you give a guy the I'm independent, I don't need a man, you know, I got this on lock, I got this, I can handle this, I can handle that. I'm very self-sufficient. You can't put yourself in a situation that all of a sudden you're a woman and you feel helpless and where are the men to protect you, because once you say you're independent, you're independent. You're a lone wolf at that particular point. You can handle whatever comes your way. So if you're a type of woman who says, you know, I got it all together and I don't need a man for nothing, that goes for defense, protection, and provision also. So be careful about the what comes out your mouth, because you might be stuck with it. And I'm bringing all this stuff up, you know, women in particular. So don't say, well, men do this. Men. I'm telling you how y'all, when we stop defending y'all and why we stop defending y'all. This is from our perspective. If you're one of those people that, well, you pointing the finger, that's another problem, because here's the illusion. If you want our defense, our protection, our provision, it's not on your beck and call. It's not when you want it, how you want it, and then when it's done, go back to your little cave because I don't need you anymore. You know, it comes, our protection, provision, and defense comes with a price. It's not a delivery. It's not something you call, hey, you know, protect me in 45 minutes, and when I'm done, you know, thank you for your services, goodbye. It's not like that. And a lot of people treat it like that. And not respecting what defense, protection, and provision may entail. It can go as far as a guy using the last of his resources to a guy breathing his last breath. And if you have no respect for that in general, and we use our discernment to figure out if you have respect for that part in general, then there's no reason for us to lend ourselves, because why would I give my life up, or potentially go as far as having to give my life up for somebody who just wanted a guy to come through to make a point? You know, as a parent, I would be very stupid to go defend somebody who I find out wasn't worth defending. I lose my life, and that person just moves on and go gets with somebody else, and they're not helping take care of my kid. My kid needs to go to college. They're not helping. They just moving on, and that's why I say it's a certain responsibility with the defense, the protection, and provision, because you can't have it just that way and just walk off. It's not. It doesn't work like that. And for a minute, when I get to the independent thing, that the reason why you signed off your defense is because of this. And this goes for women who are independent. This goes for women who date non-black men, or this goes for women who date, you know, thugs and shit like that, or dope boys who find themselves in that life. When those are the guys you choose the consequences that go with dating those type of guys. You see, if you date a guy and he doesn't get into trouble, then he's keeping you out of trouble. He's actually protecting you by keeping you in a peaceful lifestyle. That's protection by not having a bunch of shit going on around you. That's provision by giving you the peace and quiet you need to concentrate on things you need to do. You know, for some people who have a yearn to go try to get excitement, y'all shooting yourselves in the foot, because guess what? You're putting yourself in harm's way. See, a man could take you to the Grand Canyon and look at the view. And he could tell you, don't get too close to the cliff. And you could say, you got this, you smart, you strong, you independent, you don't need nothing else. And then you could run and jump off that goddamn cliff. to your death, and you can't blame him because you already know where you at. You already know, how they supposed to end, and you already know he warned you. Stay back. If you make all the choices to jump off the cliff, it's not on him to run after you. Put grappling hooks in the ground, tie a rope around himself, and dive off the cliff for you like Mission Impossible. So when you do that to guys, it's a turn off. I'm gonna leave it at that because 10 minutes is enough. If y'all want to know something else, I'll put something else in there. Just ask. Peace.